the best Air Jordan out of the 1 to 16. We don't really care beyond that. We just need 16 to make it an even World Cup. The best Air Jordan model. There's a lot of maybe contentious models within that 1 to 16 lineup. And I think because we're talking about Jordan 4s and some of our favorites, I think it'll be interesting to do a Jordan 4 one or just do within each number down the line. But I think right now, just to set the stage, it'll be fun to do a World Cup between these top 16. And it's going to be randomized. So, you might see Jordan 4s and Jordan 5s in the first round. And one of them's got to go.
I mess with this.
It's gonna be tough, but it kind of just is what it is. It's time for this World Cup, and the first round matchup is the Air Jordan 9 versus the Air Jordan 2. And what we're gonna do here is majority rules. So we're gonna have to decide between the three of us, and whatever the majority is, they're going through to the next round. So there may be some
negotiation.
There may be some salt here if you don't get your way, but it's gonna be interesting anyway. So what are you guys thinking? Air Jordan 9, Air Jordan 2. Any first thoughts?
My first thought was the 2, but the one part of the 9 I like is the midsole. I like that more than the 2, but everything else reminds me of a Hoka. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm leaning towards the 9, I think.
What about you, Eric?
It's not hard. 2s, man. I think 9s are disgusting, bro. I saw they were very popular in middle school. There were a lot of pairs that were releasing when we were in middle school, and they were. I think that's the last time I saw people consistently wearing them. And I don't know. They're just not it, man. They're bulky, but they're also like I just don't love, and I don't love 2s, man. This isn't like, oh, I love 2s.
No, yeah,
2s honestly, whichever one won this, they got to buy low key, which shouldn't have happened. Like,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I prefer
but 2 is like the quintessential bowling shoe, bro. Like that's the thing. It gives retirement home, like smelling like hospice vibe, bro. I don't know.
Like, and I can see like the jean shorts and cigarettes and like the, it's like standing on the corner like Uncle
and the Nokia.
No, I'm talking about Jordan. I'm talking about Jordan 2. Jordan 2. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going 9s.
You're gonna go 9s? Okay.
So it really comes down to Alexi, but like you said, this is like the lesser of two evils. But I think these images we're seeing, and sorry you guys are not seeing these images on the pod, but it's like I don't know what this colorway is, but it's like a white and red Air Jordan 9 versus like white, black, and red, probably red Air Jordan 2. I hope they consistently keep these colorways for all the shoes just to make it more even, but This is a terrible colorway for the 9.
It is, but other colorways, that's the thing in my head, other colorways I've seen, like I think I have to go with the 9.
Like the University Gold 9s I like there's one
University
with
Blue I think they have also. That's what comes to my head.
There's like the one with like the olive kind of on it too that comes to my head. I like
that.
There's more 9 colorways that I can tolerate than even the cool grays. I don't mind.
I remember those too. Yeah.
For the 9s versus the 2s, but it comes down to Alex. You say you're going with the 9s as well.
Yeah, I got to, because I tried to think of other colorways I've seen for the 2s, and like nothing is gonna make me like those shoes. Even Virgil couldn't do it, bro. If Virgil couldn't make a 2 that sells, then who can?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Okay, so we're going Air Jordan 9, unfortunately. I guess for all of us. I was gonna say for Eric, but for all of us, because these both suck. But let's see.
That's easy.
Let's let the viewers know we got Air Jordan 16 versus the 3, and we're not gonna waste your time. So, let's move on to the next round.
Well, by the way, 16, disgusting.
Yeah,
absolutely horrendous.
Just
condom sneakers, bro.
Speaking of disgusting,
yeah, Air Jordan 15 versus Air Jordan 4, and I'm liking these matchups because it means these good sneakers go through to the next round. So Yeah.
We
Anyone-
don't even got to say for this.
Okay, I was gonna say anyone gonna make an argument for the 15s?
Nah, fours, man, fours.
Ooh,
Okay.
Ooh,
okay. This is okay.
This is interesting.
Kind of don't like this getting cut off here, but Air Jordan 5 versus Air Jordan 12. You know, a little more
Yeah.
competitive than these last two.
And I will say those 12s, the colorway they're showing is like the burgundy 12s, and those were my favorite. I remember when those were released. I was heavily considering those. But with me saying that, despite that being my favorite colorway, I mean a 5 wins every time because for me, just the shape of the 5 is more versatile. The colorways overall are better. And it has that, that little fighter jet inspiration on the midsole, the little shark fangs. I don't even know what you call it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that design on the 5. That really makes the 5 stand out to me.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna reveal which my favorite is because that might spoil where I'll go later on out of all the colors, but the 5 is up there, and the 12, as much as I think the 12 works in certain colorways, definitely obviously way more colorways than the 9, but it's not up there even in my top 5 out of these first 16. So for me, it's an easy Air Jordan 5.
Same. And both of these models both of these silhouettes have iconic colorways, but I think the 5s are just much more iconic, and I feel like they're making a little bit of a comeback.
We'd like to see.
They are, bro. They're supposedly dropping the Tokyo 5s at the end of the year, which if that is the
Ooh.
case, I will be on those. I will find the funds.
Dang.
You don't love that?
Nah, I don't know. I'm always under, like, also because I know Nike's just trying to like put out all the coveted pairs. I don't know. I think it's just a little bit of some oversaturation, but that's another conversation.
I'm all here for it, bro. I'm all here for it.
Okay.
Rather than do that than pay $800 resale, whatever, or go to Uncle Lynn, who's gotta have me cover the tariffs for the $50 pairs that supposedly come from the same factory.
That's hilarious.
All right, well, clean sweep, Air Jordan 5. Moving on. Okay, we got the 6s versus the 14s. Anyone a secret fan of the 14s?
Sooks.
Dang.
Okay. You sound a little disappointed, Eric. Why you like the 14s?
No, I rebuke any and everything. I'm done. I'm not.
Oh, what Eric's what Alexis.
But yeah, I'm all for the Jordan 6s, man.
All right, let's run it. Not waste any time there. And ooh, okay, Air Jordan 7 versus Air Jordan 1.
That's the one every day.
The ones.
I'm going 7.
I've never messed with the 7.
I had a pair of 7s.
Hell
7s were
no.
my first Jordan. 7s were my first Jordan.
I think 7s were mine too. Low key, but this probably makes sense. Maybe there was no demand and they were a little cheaper or something. But I don't know. I think the 7s are a little underrated. Obviously, I think it's a little tough to find. It's limited in its colorways, but I think the few colorways it does well, I think it does really strongly. But that's just me trying to low key play devil's advocate. Really, it's hard to compete with the 1 in terms of just the amount of colorways that the 1 has had, and obviously iconic status. But I just want to give a little love to the 7. But yeah, you guys both went with the 1, so that one will move on. Air Jordan 8 versus Air Jordan 10.
This is fun.
This
is a fun one.
This is interesting, yeah, for sure. Oh, this is tough, actually.
I know my pick.
I know my pick as well.
So okay, we each say
Yeah.
ours, and then Eric can come to his decision. I'm going Air Jordan 8, and that's mainly because I might have mentioned it on the show before, but my all-time Air Jordan sneaker is the Aqua 8s, and that alone is hard carrying the 8s for me. But even like there's some other colorways as well that I like too. The 10 I do think is low-key underrated. The 10 has some fun colorways too, but I'm personally going with it. The 10 got a little straight jacket vibe that I don't always love. But yeah, I'm going 8s on this one.
I'm gonna have to counter with the 10.
That's good. Okay, that's good. That sets
Because
up.
me personally, with the 8, I just never came around to like kind of just the look of like straps overlapping, like 3 different straps almost. That was always just very distracting to me. Whereas the 10, I always kind of liked how it was very rectangular on the midsole with all these little rectangles, and that kind of matched up with the straps holding the laces, which are very rectangular. And then in between that, you just have this very curvy, very rounded shape. I always appreciated kind of just the shapes of that shoe and the colorways that they were able to do with it. So for me, it's a 10.
Interesting.
Bugs
You know what's
Bunny 8
crazy?
though.
That's
Oh, yeah, go
okay.
ahead, Eric.
And
Okay.
that's what I was gonna say. man.
I like those. I do like those, but when I'm thinking about what I would wear and what I would gravitate to, I'd still pick a 10.
That's fair. I actually can see that. I think what's interesting, so for me, I will say, I don't think I'd ever wear a pair of 10s or a pair of 8s. I think 8s have a lot of colorways that at one point I would have 100% wanted. The Bugs Bunnies, obviously. The Aquas are also a classic. The Playoff 8s, I think, are also a really cool one. Rui Hachimura had a pair of 8s that a lot of people, I think, will not. Honestly, they're going for dirt cheap. So if I wanted to, I could get a little pair. But I don't think I will. I just don't think 8s are super wearable. But
yeah, they're very bulky. They're so
yeah.
bulky.
Then the Dornbecker 8s, I know they're not like super wearable, but that's one of those grails that I think a lot of people, the few that are lucky enough to have a pair, I think those are one of the cooler pairs of sneakers ever. And I know I'm saying a whole lot, but believe it or not, man, I'm gonna go with the Jordan 10s only because I'm going off of just like not what I would wear, but more like, okay, what has the bigger story? What has the bigger, like, what do I think is more iconic? I think about when Scottie Pippen was wearing the Jordan 10s. He's wearing the Jordan 10s. Not Pippen. Jordan had gone into retirement, and so he's wearing the Jordan 10s on the broadcast. He puts up the sneaker while on the bench, and he's just like signaling for Jordan to come back after the Jordan 10s released to basketball. And I think that's such an iconic moment, and that's what sneakers is all about, at least for me. So for that reason, I will say the 10s.
You hate to see it. Okay, I think the last matchup of the first round, the 13 versus the 11. Anything jumping out to you?
The 11s, man. Someone got killed for those. Someone gave their life up for some 11s, man. The 11s.
I gotta go with the 13s, and I say that because of one specific collab, which was the Clot, which I think they're a Chinese brand, or maybe an American guy who's also Chinese, but they have a pair of Clot 13s, which those are just one of the coolest Jordan collabs I've ever seen, even to this day. They were like based off the Terracotta Warriors, and it completely changed the way I see the shoe. I will say it was a collab, so it wasn't, this exact standard 13 model. So, maybe I'm stretching our limits a bit there. But even still, just for me, like 11s, I just can never see myself wearing those in the same way.
Yeah, fair. I do think 11s are overrated. And maybe you guys share that sentiment as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a great 11. There's a lot of iconic 11 colorways, and I think Jordan, a lot of that is Jordan marketing as well. The way they choose to release 11s, I think inherently builds up hype around them as well. And Space Jam 11s, like Aqua 8s, Space Jam 11s, never owned them, but those are, if I were to put like top 5 Jordan sneaker of all time, Space Jams are in there for me.
Yep.
So saying all that though, Loki, the 13s have some fun colorways that I like. I think the one that always stands out to me is the Flint. Obviously, that's probably the most,
Yes.
maybe most iconic one. But I always like that color blocking. But just something about these little like chicken pox on the,
Yeah.
the sneaker, just I don't know. That always looked like someone tried to puncture it with a needle and it didn't go all the way through.
Nah, but it's like a little perforations. It's a little, I don't know. To me, it gives a very unique 2000s era vibe for some reason.
It also gets a little infected, kind of. And, this one's closer, I think people might assume, but I'm going Air Jordan 11 just because it also has one of my top colorways. But close one for sure. That's
Almost
2-1,
raised
right?
out. Yeah, 2-1. Almost raised out on
You
the
said that?
No way.
I'm going 13.
No, that's crazy.
Okay,
hilarious.
second round though. Second round. Air
Oh.
Jordan 11 versus Air Jordan 3. This is not hard for me.
Not hard for me.
Me neither. Threes.
3s.
11s. No, I'm stop trolling.
11s are iconic, but I think
Oh, this is
it might be a thing of the past.
That's fair. Next up, we got the 9s versus the 6s.
6.
6.
The one after 5. I'm not gonna set up there.
Hey, let's go.
No, I got you, bro. I got you. Okay. Another match. The 10s versus the 4s.
4. This is
I'm liking
too
these
easy.
matchups because we're getting the ones that shouldn't have gotten through anyway out of here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is gonna be a crazy finale. quarter final.
Ooh. This is the toughest
For me,
matchup.
Ooh.
You got the 5s versus the 1s. Either of these could easily make it to the next round against another matchup, but I know where I'm going.
Me too.
Oh, I don't think I do. Y'all go first. Oh man.
Go ahead, Eric.
1s are my favorite Jordan ever. Like there's no ones might be my favorite sneaker like silhouette ever. So
Interesting.
yeah, so I'm gonna go 1.
I'm going 5s comfortably. Like for me, it's not even close. Obviously the 1s are iconic, but if we're talking about a shoe, the one I would want to wear that I like looking at, and I think it does the best as a Jordan silhouette, not borrowing a lot from Nike silhouettes. I think 5 is up there. I'm not gonna say which position, but I think 5 is very high up there in terms of iconic Jordan silhouette. I think the Jordan 1, and I'm making this argument now, maybe we'll get through and I have to make this argument again, but I think the Jordan 1, a lot of the legwork for that shoe comes from other places that I can get something similar there. The 5 to me is a very iconic standalone shoe in the Jordan lineup, but that's my argument. I'm laying it on the table. And also the 1s, they're spamming, bro. They've been spamming, but Alexi, it's up to you on this one.
They'll be back.
God. All right,
1s will
let
be
me
back.
let me give my 2 sides. For the 1, that was my first Jordan. That's the one that, for me, like when I was getting into sneakers, at first it was Adidas, but then when it came to Jordans and Nike, it was the one that was popping off. And I have a couple pairs. I was lucky to get the Travis Scotts at retail. I got the Obsidian ones, which are my all-time favorite. I always wanted the Bread Toes. So for me, personally, it's a shoe I've worn a lot. It's something I like a lot and fits within my style. On the other hand, every time I see a 5 and it's a colorway I mess with, for me, it is just its own beast that the 1 doesn't necessarily compete with. But I've never actually made the decision to own a pair. I've been waiting for, a little sale or, the right price. But the 5's shape and its versatility in colorways, I feel like that's the key word, actually, versatility. With the materials and the color options, just with the structure of the shoe, there's so much more potential with the 5 and what it can be. versus the 1. So, oh man, this is very difficult. This is very difficult.
This is a tough one. This is definitely the hardest one so far. Other than maybe 9 versus 2, but just because they suck.
I think I'm gonna go with my heart here. I'm gonna go with the 5.
Oh,
let's go. Let's go.
Oh, man.
That's a tough one. That's honestly
That
a
is
big one. Getting knocked out in the round of 8.
Yeah.
I don't think you call that, but I guess 5 move on. Sorry, that's Eric's top shoe going. Okay. The Jordan 6 versus the Jordan 4 for the first semifinal matchup.
4s for me.
4s for me as well.
Okay. Yeah, light word.
Yeah.
I like the 6s though. I mean, before we just move on like that, the 6s are a great shoe. I think the 6s are honestly
Oh, yeah.
great. But
Iconic.
Yeah, 4s are just the 4s.
Definitely.
5s versus 3s though. I know where I'm going.
I say 3s, man.
I'm going
It's not hard
5s.
for me.
5s easily. By the way,
No way. No way.
3s aren't even. Yeah.
Why does this gotta come down to me again, man?
Even looking at that elephant print got me tight, bro. 5s easily.
I when I think about 3s and what I like about 3s, a lot of what I like are the non-traditional aspects of a 3. So like I wouldn't even say what I like about them is like their inherent characteristics. It's like, certain colorways or certain collabs and things like that. Even though I would say I generally like them. And they're so deserving of being number 1 in their own world. But I mean, same reasoning I gave for the 5s just a minute ago. I got to go with the 5s again here.
Go.
I think they accomplish what the 3s do visually, just better in some areas.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Yeah, I think the 5 is like the final evolution of the 3. But
That's yeah.
Eric, before we move on to the final, you got your 1s who got knocked out. I'm guessing the 3 is maybe your second favorite silhouette. I don't want to put all your business out there, but I know you wear.
Yeah, I love 1, 3s, and 4s, man. So this is tough. This is tough. I love the 5s, man. I have a pair of grapes. I love them, but 3s are just it, man. 3s are
they hurt your pinky toes so much, though, bro. That's the thing too. They're not comfortable. They're not.
Interestingly, if the 5s, we know what the 5s are going up against in the final. If the 5s somehow pull this off, I won't go either way and say what it is, but the gauntlet of the 1, the 3, and the 4 to win it would be crazy. But let's see. The 5s move on, and our final matchup: the Air Jordan 5 versus the Air Jordan 4. And I will disclose, to me, these are the top 2 Jordan silhouettes, easily for me. I think after these 2, there's a gap between these 2 and the 3rd. So this has worked out perfectly for me. But, yeah, what do you guys think?
I mean, it's got to be the 4s. It's got to be the 4s. But at this point, I don't even know how much.
It's down bad. You can still get one of your top 3 to win here, though, in the 4.
Dre, what do you think? Are you still?
Honestly, I have a preference. So, are you on the fence?
No, I have my preference. I just.
Oh, okay. Well, my preference. Well, I'm trying to think what's the best for suspense. What's your talk me through it. What are you feeling?
For me, as they said, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Hey, the most fire I see here is with the 4, man. So.
No way.
Okay, good. I had a feeling we both were going 4, but I was hoping you went 5, so it could come down to like a tiebreaker. But no, I'm going 4 as well. To me, the 4 is definitively the best Jordan silhouette. And I think, like I said, 5 is number 2, but I think even between the 4 and the 5, there's a slight gap, and between the 5 and whatever comes next, there's a decent gap. But I think 4, whatever was going on when this was in designing stage, they were cooking. Like, this is just the perfect silhouette. Maybe not the perfect in terms of comfort, like you guys said, but clearly they had to sacrifice some things to build this masterpiece. I think the 4 is like where the Jordan brand peaked.
Yeah. And I think we gotta say the 1, 3, 4, 5. You know, forget about the 2s.
Yeah, 2s. You know, a little.
Other than
that, they were cooking.
Those top 5, yeah, they were cooking.
They were cooking, especially 3 to 5. That's a generational run right there. Because obviously the 2 kind of ruined it, but well, at least for me, because obviously 1's not in my
You can even
top.
throw 6 in there, honestly.
6 is to me. I prefer 6s to 1s. Maybe that's crazy, but 3 to 6 is the crazy run to me. But yeah, well, just to let the viewers know, just for a little disclosure, we're actually on this website we're running it on. They show you the top results, and the 1 is actually the top winner overall on this website with a 40% win ratio. But actually, the 4s also have a 40% win ratio. Final win ratio. I guess overall, it's still the 1, but it goes 1, 4, 3, 11, 8, 6, then 5. I'm not even gonna go below that. We don't care. But the 5 is down at number 7, which to me is blasphemous. That's crazy.
I'm sorry, but having the 11s and the 8s ahead of the 5
Agreed.
is crazy.
Crazy. And like I said, I have a soft spot for 8s. Not even close. 11s. Completely. This is just pure overrated.
And sorry, but also right after that, the 2s beating the 10s. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. The funny is the 15s are 10th, and we don't look ahead of the 9s and the 12s, which is funny. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's kind of wild.